Istook is on the line with us. He is a former 7-term House member from Oklahoma City, a Republican when he was, a senior fellow at the Heritage Foundation, host of the new network show Istook Live, the website Istook, ISTOOK.com. Ernest, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Tom.
Given that even Fox News has called out at least 5 lies in Paul Ryan's speech last night, how much damage did Paul Ryan do to the Republican Party and to his own ticket by those lies?
Well, first, I haven't heard Fox News say whatever they may actually have said, but
I'll read it to you if you'd like.
Well, the point is not. I mean, let me give you my impression as opposed to reiterating somebody else's. I realize that there's a big industry right now in what people call fact checking. And I find personally that a lot of what passes for fact-checking in the media really boils down to the question of the personal interpretation of the person that may be, or the entity.
Well, how do you personally interpret when a factory closes during the Bush administration and somebody comes along and blames Obama for that? How is there a personal interpretation attached to that?
Well, first, Paul Ryan did not say that the factory closed during Obama's time. He said that Obama said that the factory was going to be open 100 years or so, and the factory had some closure in December of 2008, and then there were some that were actually extended. I think it was February 2009, but that really those dates don't matter.
So you're saying because he implied it, it wasn't a lie?
Well, there's a difference between implying something and inferring something. His point was that Barack Obama made a promise, and that promise was not fulfilled. And you can say, well, Barack Obama couldn't have fulfilled it because he wasn't president at the time. Really, that wasn't the point of what Paul Ryan was saying. So, really, I think that
what about when he said that Obama downgraded America's credit and Standard & Poor's said that
serious issues of the election?
Ernest, what about when he said that Obama had presided over a downgrade of America's credit rating when Standard & Poor's said, and I quote, this is their language, Republicans saying that they refuse to accept any tax increases as part of a larger deal, end of quote from Standard & Poor's, is why they specifically downgraded our credit. Now,
I've read
and that
Standard
was Paul
Poor's
Ryan.
report. You've only read a small piece. There were a whole bunch of things that Standard & Poor's cited in that.
None of them specifically condemned the administration.
The factor, it was not.
None of them specifically condemned the administration. They specifically called out the Republicans refusing to raise taxes.
They cited a number of factors, and that includes the fact that the whole United States government was not being serious about getting a handle on the deficit spending and in particular the entitlement spending. I think the whole report,
I'm sorry, Standard & Poor's talked about neither of those things. They talked about the legislative process, which was being blocked by Republicans because of this.
Tom, why don't you quote the whole report rather than picking out one aspect of a multi-page report?
Okay, so you're saying that that's not a lie either. So how about Obama did nothing on Bowles Simpson when it was
picking to try to call somebody a lie?
Well, okay, how about Obama did nothing on Bowles Simpson when it was Paul Ryan himself who voted against Bowles Simpson and helped blow it?
What did Obama do on Bowles Simpson?
There was no report that came out of Bowles Simpson because Paul Ryan vetoed it.
What did Obama do with it? He said Obama did nothing. What did he do? You tell me. Did he do something?
There was no official report that came out of Bowles Simpson because Paul Ryan voted against it.
What does that have to do with the question of whether or not President Obama set in place a process? He chose, Obama personally chose, through an executive order, what the process was going to be. He had the ability to say, look, even if you don't reach a conclusion, I'm taking the parts that I agree with and I'm going to do something. Instead, the President of the United States did nothing. What Paul Ryan said was that Barack
I thought you guys
Obama
were complaining that he tried to stimulate our economy.
What did Barack Obama do with all the different things that were brought up in Bowles Simpson? The answer is he didn't do anything.
Well, he's done a lot of things, but much of Bowles Simpson, in my opinion, was crummy policy. I'd be very, very glad if he didn't. Bowles Simpson, first of all, it never came out, but B, when Mr. Bowles, Mr. Simpson came out with their side report, they were saying, well, let's turn part of Social Security over to Wall Street. That sounds to me like idiotic. Let's go along with Paul Ryan and voucherize Medicare. I don't think the American people would go for that. And certainly no Democratic president would do that. That's insane.
Yeah, but see, the problem, you're trying to say that you're trying to accuse somebody of being a liar.
Yes, I am.
Because they talk about the fact that somebody else didn't do something, and instead of saying, yes, he did do something, and here's what he did, you're trying to distract people. And besides which, you're trying to pull things away from the whole issue of the election.
So your position is that Paul Ryan didn't lie at all last night? There were no
I'm not aware of any lies
factual shortcuts, as the Associated Press calls them?
Well, again, I'm not aware of any lies that he said. Now, if you want to say that you disagree with some of the conclusions that he reached, that's different. If you want to say that your opinion differs from some of the opinions that he expressed, that's different. But to elevate it the issue of a lie, and more than that, to try to use it to distract people from the important issues in this election of trying to get America back to work, trying to get the private sector going again, try to stop the government from suppressing so many things that the private sector might be doing that could put people back to work, trying to get us to use our own energy resources.
You and I both know that that's nonsense. Demand comes from wages, and you guys are doing everything you can to make sure that wages are suppressed. You know, you don't want to raise the minimum wage. You don't want unions. You don't want, you want to lay off government employees. All of those things have to do with keeping money out of the pockets of working people, so that more money can go to the pockets of the millionaires and billionaires who are funding you and your party.
Am I supposed to, Tom, say that I disagree with you, or am I supposed to say that you're lying because I disagree with you?
Well,
which should I do?
Feel free. I mean, I'm a big boy. I can take it.
Well, I know you're a big boy, but you know, it says something about me if I throw the word around that loosely of accusing somebody of lying to the American people, to a national television audience. That says a lot about me. When I disagree with something,
and it says a lot about the New York Times and Fox News and the New Republic. And I mean, the headline in the New Republic, the most dishonest convention speech ever. Yeah, it says a lot about a lot of people, I guess. Ernest Istook, Istook.com is the website. Thank you.